What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into a few things tonight. We're actually going to be breaking a record. First night since either channel that we're going to be doing 5 sports, so that's going to be fun. And I always like to do a recap. I don't like to sugarcoat things. We had a rough night last night, about like a -9 net night, and I just picked poorly in the NBA. There's no way around it. Warriors, ones like that are tough. They won by like 15. We needed a couple more. We got clipped on the Rockets, but they're not excuses. They've gone our way. Last night they didn't. And Hawks, I had a bad read on. So I just had a bad read on a lot of teams. Baseball, what I'm liking, and I went over this and a couple things. Again, this original system was a baseball system, and secondly, I just it's been working for us with the small sample that I've used so far, so that's always good. So as far as baseball, we only played 7, if you remember, 7 series, and we closed 4. We closed 1 more yesterday, so we only have 2 open ones. So it's going really well, and we even added the Marlins beat Mets, which we weren't originally playing. I played it because I like the odds. But anyway, so we'll have baseball. Baseball is pretty self-explanatory. Essentially, we are just picking who we think won't get swept. So, the next day, you should know who you're taking. It's not like basketball where we're going to be picking a different team the next day. So, speaking of basketball, I wanted to start with the most realistic sport of the ones we are playing. That being said, April Fools, because it's certainly not basketball. All right, so the men I can truly respect that actually go get injured and don't lie about it being choreographed. Now, this makes it where Vegas is going to have obviously like a heads up on the odds based off of what they're noticing. Based off of, I've noticed just small things that make me know that certain guys have to win or lose. So we could look at the card tonight. I'm also including tomorrow's card. I just figured I'd throw them all in here. Some you can argue are contingent, and I'll go over that later. But I'm going to go into this. So we got Austin Theory against Cena. Now, if anyone watches wrestling, they understand the importance and the professionalism, the lineage, legacy of wrestlers that have put over up-and-coming wrestlers. So it's just a spoken tradition, not unspoken. Like it's pretty out there, and it's not even it's a unwritten rule, but it's also a very spoken tradition. An older guy, that's benefited so much from the industry is not going to come out of retirement and just bury a guy they're trying to push. So, especially in these circumstances where Theory, they are trying to make him the next John Cena. So, it's not really working right now. But yeah, Cena winning makes absolutely no sense to me. And of all the matches, this one actually has some of the best odds right now. Some of them have moved, because you have to understand that 3-4 weeks ago, they have the odds where, it's almost 50-50 on a lot of these matches. That's why I kept telling people about the Cody Rhodes match with Roman Reigns when it was back at like -200, +200. But anyway, Austin Theory is not too bad of odds right now. It's around -400, and I'll get the exact odds in a second, but I like him to win. Charlotte, Rhea Ripley is a no-brainer. Rhea Ripley's winning. Charlotte is a great placeholder champion. They finally have a good push behind Rhea. I've never seen in the history of wrestling them squander these kind of things. Outside of, ironically, when Cena was champ and they decided they wanted to really keep him on a pedestal, so a lot of new guys got buried. That's why the company lost so many ratings. So that's how Charlotte's just not going to beat Rhea, and bury her, in my opinion. So Rhea making sense, no-brainer, got Rhea. This one, this Undisputed Championship match, is a very, very interesting one. The odds are ridiculously in favor. Like, it's -5,000 for Sami and Kevin. And it's because of the storyline. If you don't follow wrestling, then it's not going to make much sense to you. If you do, then obviously Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Usos, crazy 20-year full circle storyline. Kevin and Sami best friends, never won the championships together. Makes sense they win them together at home. Bloodline collapses. Usos turn on Roman. Later, he loses to Cody. Like, that's what everyone's expecting, and that's the only reason I'm actually wondering about the Usos. I will say this one's just not worth playing. And if it is, you might as well put a little bit on the Usos, because I do think Sami and Kevin are going to win. But for minus 5,000, it's pretty laughable. And I do have in theory where the Usos win, but Roman loses. And that accomplishes what they're trying to accomplish without the audience all knowing what's going to happen. So I have had that theory, the Usos retain, but Roman doesn't. So anyway, this match I just wouldn't play, but, again, my theory is more secondary. I think they're KO and Sammy are minus 5,000 for a reason. But yeah, you can call it a cop-out. It's just one that I will say the second match, the Roman Cody one, won't be contingent on this, and I think that's why they made this on night one. By that I mean that Roman Cody has already been decided. Now they're just what they're going to do after that. And again, keeping the Usos as champs would be interesting. But again, I'm just staying away from that one. But yeah, again, gun to head, I would put like $10 on the Usos. Even though Kevin and Sammy make so much sense, only because that would be a curveball that would still fit in with the Ultimate storyline. Okay, and I'll explain that when I get to the Cody match. Here we have a 6-woman tag team match, and this one I like Trish, Lita, and Becky a lot. Again, it's a 3-on-3. Whenever they have these kind of matches in the past, they are just kind of nostalgia matches. So it's a lot different than Austin fighting Cena, which is a more serious match. Cena beats him. They've been joking about how Cena's got his bald spot now, and he just looks a lot different. And it's messed up the joke and roasting him for that. But the point is, people know he's not in his prime anymore. So to bury a guy in his prime, but this you have a 3-on-3 all the time. You see it, and they usually will do it to give people that feel good moment before some heels start winning. So I really like the Trish, Lita, and Becky to win there. Here I like Seth freaking Rollins. I do think he wins. He's been selling way too good for Logan Paul. He put over Cody Rhodes 3 times in a row last year, including Cody with a torn pec. This guy has been putting in the work. There's just no way he's gonna he would do it if they asked him to, but there's no way they're gonna book him to lose to Logan Paul. I don't think they will. Again, Seth has put in the work. They could as like a little shocker. I just, 99 times out of 100, the guy with the momentum always loses. They've been giving Logan all the momentum. So it just makes sense that Seth Rollins wins this match. Now this one, Ray versus Dominic, I think has the best odds of all the matches. Dominic has to win this match. For the last 4 to 6 months, they've literally just been booking this guy as the worst son in the history of sons. Really, and they've done a great job of making him a good heel. And by having him lose here, you're just literally, it's planting the seeds and then cutting down the tree the second it grows. It makes no sense. And the odds are pretty close on this one. Like, they're not great, but I think he's like minus 300 or something. So, to me, this has the best odds. I know people want to see Ray win, and they're thinking, it's going to be great. Ray wouldn't win this match. Like, put yourself in his shoes, and you have a son coming up. Would you want to beat him, or would you want him to win, get massive heat, and know your son's going to be successful? To me, that one's a no-brainer. Dominic wins. This one's interesting, but it has good value. I do like the Street Profits. I think of these 4 teams, they're the only one that could be booked to go against the Usos. They kind of planted some seeds there. And against Kevin or Sammy. Whereas Braun and Ricochet, they're more of, I feel like, a gimmick act where people like them both. They're fun together. But I don't think they're a tag team. They'll probably break up pretty soon. Braun goes back to being an individual competitor. But the Profits are, I think, a higher level than these other teams. Alpha Academy is, they're good wrestlers. The thing is, if you know about them, they're breaking them up pretty soon. So I do like the Street Profits. Next, I'm going to do the Cody match last. I think that's only fitting, because I just want to explain why too. So we got Asuka versus Bianca. This one was one of the toughest, and rightfully on Vegas it has about dead even odds. I know a lot of people have Asuka winning this match because they're like, she's been misused. She was champion for a little bit, and she never really got her run, and that could be the case. I do like Bianca though, because I also feel like she's had a couple moments where she just, she lost in 27 seconds, got buried by Becky Lynch. She did get her belt back. She's held it a while. But I still feel like they haven't really given her a legitimate push. And a win over Asuka here would be legitimate. A win at WrestleMania. I think it makes sense. Again, Asuka makes sense too. They're both kind of likable characters. But I think Bianca needs something, and a nice heel turn would be nice here. So I could see something like that. Also, there's going to be a lot of championships changing. I don't see both women's changing. They try and keep it where they don't all change. And that's one thing I also tried to look for, which made me edge Bianca. Now, triple threat here, I do like because we're getting plus odds. I like Sheamus to win because Gunther, that's how he says his stupid name, but it's Gunther, however you want to say it. I do believe they already planted the seeds for him to be the next contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. That being said, he needs to drop the Intercontinental Championship. He could have both, but to me, this is the perfect way. Whenever there's a guy that hasn't been pinned and hasn't been beaten, it's a cop-out, but the easiest way for them to just make him lose is to book him in a triple threat match. That way, Sheamus can, something stupid can happen where like Gunther takes out Drew and then Sheamus throws Gunther outside of the ring and pins Drew. We see it all the time. It's like so obvious, but I feel like that's what we're going to get here. There's a reason this is a triple threat match. It's so he can drop his belt without being pinned. Now we got the Hell in a Cell, Edge and Finn. This one was an interesting one. I went back and forth on this one, to be honest, because Finn's beaten Edge a few times now, and I thought, okay, it's not going to bury Finn if Edge wins. But then I also noticed, there's a lot of older talent fighting newer talent, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they're in Charlotte, not that she's older, but she's been around a lot longer than Rhea. Obviously, she was born into the business. You had Cena fighting Theory, Rey and Dom. I think a lot of this is passing of the guards, and again, they do this every year. It's to get the younger guys over. They're not going to do this in every match, and again, that's why I picked it the way I did, because WWE doesn't do that. They want to make it unpredictable. So they're not all going to be the same. But in this one, I do like Finn. I think he wins the match. I think and again, he's part of a faction that I think Rhea Ripley's going to win, and I think Dominic's going to win. So I think you really want to get these guys over. You let them all win. So I like Finn here. And we got a couple more. We got Brock versus Omos with MVP. This one would be good odds for Omos, and I was thinking about taking Omos, but I like Brock. He's not just a veteran. This guy can come back in 10 years and probably still believably kick the crap out of half the roster. He's just a monster. So he's not like John Cena where he's losing it. This guy is getting crazier with age. I don't know how he does it. And losing to Brock Lesnar is certainly not a burial. The fact that Omos is getting Brock Lesnar is big. So they can just put on a 5 to 10 minute slugfest. Lesnar catches him at the F5 is what I think happens and wins. And then Omos could win. He could definitely win this match. But I'm going to go with Brock just because, again, you have to balance the heels and faces. This last one here is we got Natalya, Shotzi, Sonya. This is a weird one. It's just anyone can really win it. Of the people in this match, I think Ronda and Shayna make the most sense just because they are built as, two UFC fighters. Now, again, they don't have to get pinned. Something weird can happen. But, again, I think they're positioning this for them to challenge for the women's tag team championships. So, again, I think it makes sense that Ronda and Shayna just win this one. So, now we're at the main event of tomorrow, Roman Reigns versus Cody, which ties directly, obviously, in with whatever's going to happen in the tag team match tonight. So that's what makes this really interesting. I like Cody Rhodes. I've been saying it for a while. I said it when he was minus 200, and then he moved to minus 5. I begged people to get in. Now he's minus 8. I'm still begging people to get in. He'll probably be minus 2,000 because after tonight, all the seeds are going to be planted for tomorrow. So he'll probably move even more. So I'm still telling people get in. It's just the call of the century. This story isn't just about wrestling. This is about a guy who literally left because they had him paint up his face as an alien from another dimension, went and built from the ground up another company with just his wrestling knowledge and 3 friends, and this company was literally competing with WWE's NXT and beating them. While beating NXT is not something you want to, base your success off of, the fact that this man was able to do that, and when the second he left, the company started crumbling, just shows the mind he has. Now, more importantly than that story, which obviously they're going to complete, Roman Reigns has been putting in the work. And if you noticed, the last month or so, they've kind of transitioned him to a Brock Lesnar schedule where he's just showing up, for like the payoff. Like you have a couple weeks where his goons, the Usos, Solo, Sikoa, they fight. And it's like if you beat these guys, then you're good enough to fight Roman. So you can already tell he's doing the talk shows, whereas Cody's picking up all the press events. Cody's doing all the house shows. There's just no way that Cody loses. And they've built Roman for 4 years now. 2019, I think, is the last time the guy's been pinned. So it has to be somebody ridiculous that beats him. It can't be Omos. It can't be Edge. It can't be Seth. It can't be any of these guys. It has to be Cody Rhodes. So yeah, Cody's winning that match. Like I said, I'm surprised it's even minus 800. I'm surprised it hasn't moved even more. But the swerve, like I said, if there was to be a swerve, I think it'd be in this tag team match. Like this one's worth taking the value because it doesn't change that much if the Usos win. Like it'd be nice to see Sami and Kevin win, obviously, and then according to Vegas, they definitely are. I don't think Vegas is that dumb, but this Cody Roman one, it won't make any sense for Cody to lose. Like they could continue the bloodline faction, but I think they know it's getting a little stale. They added Sami to it. It brought some life back into it. He left. It's kind of stale again. I think people are more interested to see what happens with the Usos. So anyway, yeah, I think Cody wins this match. So I know it was like a little bit, like I said, I was able to work on my data and I had to upgrade my stupid screen recorder, so I have more time now. But I want to go into detail because I know the other sports I just use metrics for. But wrestling, it's all about the narrative. It's like 100% the narrative. So for that one, I wanted to go into exactly why I liked it. Now, just to condense some time, like I said, I don't even, as far as the Ronda Rousey one, I didn't even finish it because I'm not even sure if it's worth playing. But like I said, Shayna, Ronda Rousey beat, I'll just do a win. Okay, they're going to beat the rest of them. So these odds are minus 1,000. I haven't locked this one just because I don't know if it is, I don't know if it's even worth playing. Kind of like the tag team match. That's why, again, I don't even have the tag team one in here. I'm just going to enjoy that match. Again, I know it sounds like a cop-out, but these are my official plays. I'll play Ronda, Shayna, just because I don't see them having even if they're not pinned, they're the only team that's an actual team out of like in the group. The rest of them they just kind of paired together. But yeah, you see Dom's getting minus 300. I love that. Street Profits plus 120, good odds. I like Becky, Lita, and Trish minus 200, good odds. I like Dom probably of all these the best just because I'm surprised they have him. Maybe losing. Maybe Ray's doing a great job of having people believe he might win. But yeah, that's my favorite play. Street Profits, I think that's a good odd, pick up. And Sheamus is another one I really like because I really don't think, Gunther's going to win this match. So it'll be Sheamus or Drew. Drew is more of a world heavyweight championship contender. So you see, we're getting pretty good odds on a lot of these. This one's a break-even one. That's why I didn't write it. It's literally right down the middle, so it's just whoever, it might move a tiny bit, but it was even when I locked it. So, yeah, so here's all of our plays. Here's, again, I'll just enjoy the KO Usos match, Sami, just because they're getting, I think it was 50 to 1 when I checked, or they're getting 20 to 1 because obviously juice. It would be worth if you're going to drop, a half a unit just for the heck of it to see, because I think they could make the Usos win, and that would throw people off as to tomorrow's finish. They would think the bloodlines, they're still intact. Then Cody wins and something else happens. But anyway, as far as tonight, the other sports, like I said, we're playing 5, but I only respect wrestling, so that's why I went into detail with wrestling. So the other ones, it's not a ton. I just kind of picked the hockey one I like a lot. Baseball, as I went over, it's if you it's the same teams we already went with. So baseball, we got the Guardians yesterday, like I said. We're just playing the Reds again, and we're playing the Red Sox again. So baseball is simple as that. And then when the Cubs play the Brewers, and Cubs are going to be the last one. Or we won the Cubs, so no, I'm sorry. we only have these two because we went 4-3 with baseball. Then we hit the Guardians on leg 2 yesterday, so that just leaves the Red Sox and Reds. And we even picked up the Marlins. We got the Marlins. We didn't play them in the first game, but I had a feeling that they were going to beat the Heat. So I was like, let's just play the Marlins or the Heat. I was just looking at the Heat, the Mets, because the Mets are a much better team, and I don't think plus 140 was enough. So that's the reason I went with I added that one. So yeah, we're doing good with baseball so far, and you can see basketball, nothing crazy. I got the Mavs winning because I do think, and again, this is dead even odds. I do think that with the Mavs, they're going to basically have them come down to the last game and then just eke into the play-in, or maybe even not make it. I think they'll eke in as a number 10, but they're going to win the games that they shouldn't win. So in Miami, how bad they've been playing, I think people are going to take the Heat. So just like the Mavs lost to like the Hornets and Spurs, I said about the Lakers all the time, especially near the playoffs, you're going to see teams lose games they shouldn't and win games they shouldn't. So this one, the Heat, I think, should actually be a favorite. It's kind of weird they're not. So I do think the Mavs win that game. And then the only other NBA game going on tonight is the Pelicans. And I went them as a leg 2 to beat the Clippers because, again, I think the Clippers, they might sink just a tiny bit because it would be really interesting if they finished with a record where they were only like a team apart from the Thunder. It just makes sense to me. And it seems like they're trying to give the Pelicans a little bit of an identity here, towards the end of the year. And I thought they would have done it sooner. But, yeah, it's just like the team doesn't have any identity. So I think they just had them look really good. I think it was against the Suns or something. To me, it just stands the reason that they're going to have them look good again. So this one I'm playing as a leg 2, actually. So it's not going to be a leg 3. And then the Sabres is also a leg 2 for hockey. It's the only one I'm playing. I have them covering the Flyers. So that's a dead even game. So that's it for basketball. We had 2 basketball games. I like the Pels as a leg 2, and that's a win. So we're going to get about plus 140 on it. And I like about 140. And I like the Mavs straight up. And again, that one's going to be dead even odds. And then for the hockey, I just got the Sabres covering the Flyers. We're going to get about plus 210 there. That's what mine gave me because it's a dead even game. I'm just doing it because the Flyers are really, really good against the spread. And the only one left is college. And I know I went over this in other videos, but if you didn't see my other videos, I've been liking FAU just because I'm going to play them as a leg 3 too. I like them because they fit my color scheme and they fit the underdog theory. And they're the Owls. So there's a few different reasons I like them, but I feel like all that added up. And I'm pretty sure a win puts them to 36-3, 363. We've been seeing that number lately. So just a lot of different reasons I like the Pels. Not the Pels. Sorry, I'm crossing my sports here. It's just one of the other reasons I like them because I think a lot of people, especially with a 2-point spread, they're going to be fading the Owls. They're going to be on San Diego State. So I like FAU just because of that. But like I said, they also fit my color scheme. So does San Diego State a little bit. But the Owls fit it more. They're more just red and white. They will wear blue sometimes. But like I said, they fit the underdog too. I don't think a lot of people are going to be taking them. They'll probably be fading them just like they have been. And we've been doing pretty good with FAU. So I'll stick with that. And then, yeah, so like I said, for baseball, it's the same thing. I'm not adding any new baseball ones. We're just going to finish out these 8 series, and then we'll start new ones, when they start the new series. And then as far as the basketball, it's just the 2 games. So most of this I wanted to go into Wrestlemania, but I also wanted to make sure you see the legs that we're playing. I'm trying to find my... I'm guessing I didn't paste it, right? It's going to be like I said, it's going to be a leg 2, so the Pelicans... I'm looking for Pelicans beat Clippers, and I can't find it, so I'm guessing I copied it to the wrong thing. But yeah, we're going to play that. And the Clippers are given 3.5. So like I said, we're getting plus 150. That's at least what I got. And I just like to show this part so people see exactly, every step of what I'm doing. I've been a little busier lately, so I've been trying to condense and get kind of everything into one video. So this is 150 we're getting. You might get 145, 155 depending on your book, but last I checked, that's what the Pels were getting. And yeah, I think they win. I think the Mavs win. And the hockey play is just because of metrics. And the baseball one is they're going to be easy because you really won't need me going forward. If the Reds lose, then you'll know what to do for leg 3. So that's what's cool about baseball. But the others I like to go into, yeah, Mavs, makes sense that they beat the Heat. No one's going to take them, I don't think. And yeah, like the Wrestlemania, I don't know which, what legs to tell you, how many units. All I can say are these are the picks I like. I think we're gonna hit the majority of these picks. I really do. And of the odds, I like Dominic a lot. And Cody, of course, because I still think minus 800's crazy. So if you have a lot of money, and you have it to make what I call a lock. I've never used the word guaranteed lock, but I will now. There you go, Cody Rhodes. And then Dominic is like the next closest one. But yeah, these are the odds I like, and this is literally every single match outside of the Usos KO. Maybe because I'm so invested, I don't want to play it. I don't know. I just think, again, with KO and Sammy being such overwhelming favorites, I think there's a chance they throw that curveball. So if you wanted to get froggy, I'd say the Usos would be the play, even though I'm personally leaning the other way. And you can see I'm just not playing the game. But yeah, as far as favorites, Seth is another one. Theory is another one. 400 is pretty good for them. And I'm almost 90% sure they're both going to win. So some of these are still pretty maintainable. For example, I like both of them better than Brock. And he's getting more favorable odds. I just think Theory makes way more sense to win than Brock. So you can do with all that what you want. Sorry for the couple times you might have to rewind this because I was all over the place. And with that theme, that kind of goes with being autistic. I just wanted to remind everyone it's actually Autism Awareness Month. So I only bring it up because it literally gets buried every year. Last year they decided it was Women's Domestic Abuse Month. The year before it was Good Friday, and this year it looks like it's going to be Wrestlemania / Trump Indictment Day. So it's weird. Autism always gets lost in the news, which is fine. They bring awareness to like every other subject. But I think if there's ever a month we're going to kill it, it's going to be on Autism Awareness Month. So as I always say, guys, take care and happy earnings.